Picture this, a child going through as many social, physical, and mental changes at the same time, all while having to focus on academics, friends, family, home, etc. But at the same time, having the struggle of coming to terms with his sexuality and being afraid of being seen as different by his classmates. That child was me, back in high school, a battlefield of trying to be successful in all aspects of my life, while also figuring out how to accept myself, scared of what others may think of me when they found out I was gay. And my mental health was rapidly declining, my grades were dropping to an all-time low, and my confidence was almost non-existent. Many children face these kinds of thoughts every day, whether it be with their sexuality or gender, and they have to figure out how to navigate their life. And so I was lucky as I had a healthy support system behind me. However, some children may not and can struggle with the persecution that society makes them face. And so the purpose of this presentation is to convince you that LGBTQ youth are facing struggles with their sexuality and identity, from being bullied to not having the proper support to back them up. And so I'm a credible source on this topic as a gay student who also faced similar worries and experiences that children are being forced to experience to this day. And so as someone who's caring, supportive, and accepting, you should care about this social issue because LGBTQ children need a stable environment to grow up in just as much as every other kid does. And taking this time to make little changes can go a long way. And so I will detail how these children, how the mental health are caused by bullying and harassment and not receiving enough outside support. And then I will discuss the implications of this and why you should be more supportive of their growth and development. And so my first main point is that these children are more prone to bullying and harassment. So whether in schools or at home, these youth are highly likely to be bullied simply for their sexuality or gender preferences. And this can especially be seen in schools where their heteronormative peers may see their sexuality as a target to bully or harass them. And so, from the research article entitled Bullying of LGBTQ plus Children and Adolescents in Schools, the authors state that research conducted showed that 81% of young LGBT individuals experienced verbal insults, physical violence, intimidation, physical assaults, assaults with a weapon, and sexual assaults. And so you may be thinking, what happens outside of the school environment? Wouldn't they be safer at home? And while this is the case for some children, a lot of LGBTQ youth don't receive enough support, both from their family or from medical professionals. And so many parents aren't supportive of LGBTQ plus rights, which can therefore affect how they view their children that fall into this category. And so this support can extend to not giving their children the proper medical care that they need, whether physical or emotional, and that would help strengthen their identity. And so from the article entitled Perspectives Parents of LGBTQ plus Youth, the authors state that research finds that parents broadly experience difficulties navigating the mental health care landscape for their child, with many reporting challenges related to access and stigma associated with their child's mental health. And so as a result of these causes, these children aren't receiving the critical care that they need, which leads to lower mental health and related risk factors. Um, so LGBTQ children have lower health, lower mental health compared to their peers. And so um, LGBTQ children face discrimination from their peers and parents' prejudices. And so they need extra support to make sure that their mental health doesn't suffer from these harmful actions. However, without the proper support, their mental health and identity can be negatively impacted, causing them to face more struggles from their normal peers. So from the article entitled "BU," the authors state that LGBTQ youth often experience unsafe school climate and are at greater risk for compromised mental health relative to their heterosexual and cisgender peers. And so this has negative implications on these children, and we must do something about creating supportive, safe, and healthy environments for them to thrive. And so a decrease in mental health can cause these children to have more depressive thoughts, which can cause a decline in academic success and can be potentially life-threatening. From the article, also titled BU, the authors state that the most recent National School Climate Survey found that over half of LGBTQ students reported feeling unsafe at school because of their sexual orientation, and over one-third reported missing at least one day of school in the past month due to feeling unsafe. Um, LGBTQ youth also have a high percentage of attempting suicide due to the persecution they receive from society. From the Trevor Health Project from the 2024 US National Survey on Mental Health, it states that 29% of LGBTQ youth um, seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year, including 46% of transgender and non-binary young people. So given this, we must protect these children as they deserve the same amount of care as any other child would. Creating safe environments without persecution may just save a child's life. So in conclusion, many young LGBTQ children face mental health struggles during their development. The primary purpose of this speech was so that you can care more deeply about LGBTQ youth and find ways to be more supportive of their growth and create a safe environment. LGBTQ youth face bullying, which can be detrimental, especially when they don't have the support from their parents or mental health professionals. Um, and so, as someone who's been lucky enough to have support through discovering my sexuality, I can say it is of utmost importance to support these children. They don't deserve the treatment that they receive today, and they deserve the same treatment as any other child would. And providing that support and kindness from them can change their lives like it did mine. Thank you.